Hi, I'm Kevin Regan. I'm Executive Vice President of Financial Services at Investors Group. There's a couple of reasons financial literacy is topical now. One is November is Financial Literacy Month in Canada. When Investors Group looks at it, what we think is that it's very important for our clients and frankly all Canadians to understand the fundamentals of putting their money to work for them and the fundamentals of planning their futures financially. We actually spend time talking with our clients and with all Canadians about important financial planning matters, and no different when it comes to financial literacy. What we've done is we've polled Canadians and we've asked them some questions about financial literacy and how they relate to it and what it means to them. And the learnings from that are being summarized in this video as well as on our website. You know, every day we make financial decisions, some not so big and others that fundamentally affect our lives. But the reality is we're not all Warren Buffett. So when it comes to our skills in terms of being financially literate, what's more important though isn't so much the skills that we have. It's very much a contextual thing that the right knowledge and the right skill and the right level of confidence is important at the right time in your life. So are Canadians financially literate? It depends on the circumstance, depends on the need, but this is all about trying to increase that level of literacy in Canada. Well, the federal government actually defines financial literacy quite well. What they say is it's having the right knowledge and the right skill and the right confidence to apply to any financial decisions you have at any moment in time and actually using those skills and that knowledge and that confidence in making decisions. To be financially literate, what it means is you actually have to know when you need to make a decision. You have to know what decisions to make, or at least the parameters within the decision, things to think about. And you actually have to be prepared to seize the opportunities and act when the right time comes along in your life and your life circumstance. Just give you a couple for instances. You're starting off in life, whether you've got your first part-time job or you're finishing school. The life lessons from a financial perspective at that context of your life is probably the simple step of, can I earn more than I spend? So a little bit of the savings ethic. But also you're probably encountering for your first time credit cards and learning about credit and credit management. So some of the real fundamental building blocks in a financial life. Next phase would be you're now moving into possibly buying a home, maybe a relationship that's getting serious, and marriage in your future, and possibly even children. Very, very busy time. So what are important to Canadians at that stage in their life? Well, you might have a mortgage. What's the right mortgage? What's the right balance between paying down a mortgage versus savings? There's spending in the short term, lots of demands from kids for different events or maybe personal consumption. You want that big screen TV, and yet you got to think about retirement and you got to look out in the future. So it's a blend of sort of short-term and long-term needs being balanced, but particularly very busy, lots going on, and how do you make some sense of that? And finally at that stage you've got your family and you're probably thinking about insurance and risk management needs for that, sort of safeguarding your family. You move into the pre-retirement zone. Here's you're sitting back and thinking, okay, I've got things in hand, and maybe my mortgage is under control, all the spending's gone, the kids have started to move out perhaps. But what do you think about now? Well, what will retirement look like? Will it be all leisure time? Will I work part-time? Will I volunteer? The nest egg I'm putting together now, will it be there for me? Do I have enough money? There's a lot of ways people can become financially literate and do today. A lot of people will go on the internet and investigate and discover for themselves the information there. People will read, people will listen to the news and read the newspaper, subscribe to magazines, or seek advisors to assist them in the decisions. So there's a variety of ways, but what's interesting is there's so many different ways. You can end up with lots of information and lots of data, but not really any insight. And that's perhaps the trick to take away from that is it's not the quantity of information and data that's available. It's what you do with it in your own personal circumstance and how you sort through things that are relevant to you that really, I think, is the definition of financial literacy ultimately. Well, a couple of final thoughts. The first is financial literacy isn't something you acquire from a textbook. You get a certificate and look at me, I'm now certified. It's a lifelong process. It starts at the beginning of your financial life, and every phase you're still learning and growing. So people shouldn't be frustrated or angry with themselves if they don't think they know it all, because you never can know it all. And probably the most important thing is as you learn and as you go to the different sources that are available to you to make some sense of the various conversations, is actually putting in place the plans that you make. So don't just keep it in the context of great conversation, great and interesting learnings, but do something with it. And then financial literacy moves from the esoteric concept to something that really helps you meet your goals.